Welcome to the Nexus. Look at this system tree. Every system you have in your enterprise is right here, and we support them all. I'm going to open my Postgres, and I could write SQL, but I am going to let Nexus build it for me in the Super Join Builder. So I just right-clicked on the table and said, yeah, I'll do Super Join Builder. It now shows things visually. It shows me all the columns. It shows me how many rows are in there. And I am now going to import an Excel spreadsheet. And here it is. And I say, this is the one I want. And I'll go with result number 10. And it'll say, okay, I'm going to bring that spreadsheet inside Nexus. And how does it join? And I go, well, state code and state. And now I hit the blue button and say finish. The table is now going to be able to join to the addresses table. I'm going to do a couple of these just to show you how you do it. And then I'll finish it for you. And we'll have 19 spreadsheets joining to this table. Now here's the state and state again. In this case, I'll pick the addresses table, state, blue button, finish. I just need to do this. I can bring in a Redshift table, a Vertica table, a Snowflake table. We just did a 20 table join across 20 systems. And we could change the hub to anyone, and that's where it would process. No one's ever seen anything like it because no one's really had the vision for 20 years. We wanted to have a query tool that could migrate between all systems with automatic conversions so people could migrate by the tens of thousands to any system. And we really focused on federated queries because we believe you should be able to join data anywhere. And a big part of Nexus is we have a lot of customers that are moving data and they want to be able to join between that source and that cloud system. Now, all I'm doing here is picking the columns I want to see on the report. And you'll see here in a couple seconds when I bring this up, every time I click on something, Nexus is building that SQL for me. Here it is. That is already being built. Those are the columns with a check mark on it, and I'm going to add to that. So I will pick all of the columns I want to see on the report, and then Nexus is going to do the join for me. Now, this is the idea here behind the Nexus. Doesn't matter where data is. You can migrate it, query it, and in this case, you can do federated queries. And that's the brilliance behind this. But even more important, most people doing federated queries always bring it to their system or their server. With the Nexus, you can process joins on any system in your enterprise. So Postgres is the hub right now. You can see it at the top right corner. It says hub system. All right, everything's going to move to Postgres, but I can change that to Amazon Redshift, Yellowbrick, Snowflake, Netezza, Microsoft Access, my PC, any system, and Nexus will convert the table structures, get the load utilities ready, change the SQL on the fly, and that's the real key here. So you're going to see this in Postgres SQL. I bring this up, I click over here, and I'm going to show you all the SQL. That's all Postgres SQL. When I change the hub in a minute, it'll change it to MySQL. Okay? This is an idea to show you which you might want to choose as the hub. A lot of times you want the data to move to where the table is the largest. If you have a billion row table on Postgres, you want to make sure everything moves over to Postgres. If you have a billion row table on Snowflake, you want to make sure it moves over to Snowflake. Vertica moves to Vertica. That's the power that you need in this environment. I'm executing this. Everything is moving to Postgres. I'm importing 19 Excel spreadsheets to that Postgres system, and here comes the data. There you go. Now, I'm not showing it on the video, but I went in and I made some changes by going and doing an order by, and it's all point and click. And now I'm going to run it again. You will see there's an order by at the statement. So you're going to see this order by subscriber number, member number. Linda Anderson's going to come up from this point forward every time first, just to show you the consistency that we have. There's my beautiful report, quite large, as you can see. And now, this is where it's going to get very interesting. I'm going to come back into the Super Join Builder here. And I'm going to change that hub, and everything's going to change. All right. What normally takes somebody months to do, we can do it in seconds. It took me about 10 minutes to build this 20 table join, and I'm going to save it so I never have to build it again. From this point forward, it's going to come back up. I can share it with other people, or I can execute it from my tree, because now Nexus will remember this one. Now watch. I'm going to change from Postgres Hub to MySQL, and everything will change, because now it's going to use bulk copy utility. It's going to put it over to Postgres in the 20 table join database. And here we go. It's changed the SQL to MySQL. And now I'm going to run it on MySQL. Let's do this in dark mode. You see, customers have been asking for this for years. They want to change the look and feel. And sometimes they don't want to look at lighter screens. They want dark screens. And so now we've chosen mono dark. There's our pictures. There's our SQL. It's all in dark mode, saving those eyes. And now let's get ready to run this on the MySQL system. That's what's so clever here. That's what's taken so long to do, is to master all these systems. MySQL is the hub. Every single one of these tables is being converted, built on load utilities. It's moving. There's the logs. It's moving. Everything moved over to MySQL. Now it's running it on MySQL. Going to build the same report in the same exact order. Thank you, Linda Anderson. Let's change it here. Now watch very carefully. I don't think anybody's thought of this. I can choose my PC. If you've got less than 500,000 rows coming back, my PC is really fast. It's going to take all 20 objects, query them separately, bring them back to my PC, and in my memory, use my CPU and join them right here. I'm going to save this because we're going to run this again right from our tree with a one-click solution. Now, I call it 20 table join with 19 Excel spreadsheets, my PC hub, and now this is amazing. This is probably one of the most amazing things about Nexus. It is really almost like a database in itself, or a data warehouse in itself. Watch how fast this is. Every one of those things came back to my PC, and there is the exact same report. Nobody's on your PC. You're not really bothering any systems. This is a real clever strategy. That's power. Now, I'm going to choose Teradata to show you the different utilities that you could use. There's TPT utilities, load for huge tables, insert for small. I can do a combination, and I just say what database I want. I'm going to save these settings, and now the hub's changed to Teradata. We have now going to move everything to Teradata using the TPT load utility. We have about 400 utility options in Nexus, and now watch very carefully. It's going to move through those load utilities. I'm going to go to the logs down here where it's blinking. That's going to show me that it's done the first 5 tables. It's running the TPT inserts. If it turns green, it was successful. If it turns red, that means you had an issue, and you can go into the log and see what happened. Maybe it was a data type conversion or a bad load utility, or the network went down. But as you can see, it's just moving through these 5 at a time, because I've set a limit of 5 at a time. And so here we go. This will be done here in a couple seconds, and then it'll run this SQL on Teradata. And when it's done, you got the answer set, and you close the super join builder, Nexus will drop those tables that we put over there on Teradata. So everything's clean. Here it comes. Same report. Pretty ingenious, huh? This is the future. I didn't think anybody would see this, and that's why I spent 20 years of my life doing this. Now look what I've done. I've gone down to the federated query, and I said, I want to add a federated query. 20 table join, the one we saved. Watch this. I'm going to execute it from my tree now. It's going to fly because it's my PC again. Execute. Here it comes. That's the way you do data. That's federation at its best level. I'm Tom Coffing, CEO of Coffing Data Warehousing. Thank you for coming.